So this video again is for March of 2020 and it's practice test 1 foundation paper, but the second foundation paper here is one of the calculator papers and it's just selected questions. And the first one goes like this. Write down the value of the 9 in 213.95. Well, the 9 is in this column here. That's the tenths column. So the best way I'd write this is 9 tenths. Just write it as a word. Okay, so 9 in the tenths column, so it's worth 9 tenths. Writing these in order of size. Now, the way to do this is to put the same number of decimal places in for all of them. So 740, 744, 704, 700, 070. Okay, so like that. Now it's often easier as well to actually write them underneath each other and then you can see what's going on. 0.704, 0.700, 0.070. Okay, so if we look at them now, can you see that this is, if we sort of compare them, we've got the things in the same column, so this is more helpful. This one looks like 740 compared to 744, so you can tell this one's smaller than this one, for example, right? Now, if we go through that, look, this one here has got a 0 in this column and the rest of them have got a 7. So this is going to be our smallest one, so 0.070, right? That's our smallest. It's like comparing 70 to 700 and something. So that one we've done. Now, what about the rest of them? Well, this one now, it looks fairly straightforward, doesn't it? This looks like 700, 704, 740, 744. So 0.700, but when I write it in my answer, I'm going to write it the way they gave it me. So they gave it me as 0.7. Now, if you put 0.700, that will be fine as well. I'm just noticing that I shouldn't have put that 0 in, should I? 0.704 is next because that's like 700. This is like 704. Then that looks like 740. But they gave it a 0.74 in the question, so I don't need to write that extra 0 on. And 0.744, okay? Now again, if you write the numbers all with 3 decimal places, that should be fine. You should still get the mark, so don't worry about that. We've not needed the calculator yet, have we? 3 times g times 5 times h. Well, we can do the 3 times the 5 to get 15. G times h. In algebra, we just don't write. If there's a multiplication sign, we just don't tend to write it down. So 15gh. Now this one, we do have a calculator. So bid mass, we're going to do the squared bit first. So 3.17 times 3.17. And I've got that as 10.0489. I'm writing that down so that if this next bit doesn't work, then I've got that to go back to. When I do this add then, 5.9 plus 10 and a bit, so this is 10 and a bit, add just less than 6, so my answer should be just less than 16. So if I type this in the calculator and get something that's not just less than 16, or just more than 16 perhaps, then I'll change it. I must have typed something in wrong. The answer I've got is 15.9489, which is just about 16, so that must be the right answer. I'm not going to round that, because it asks me to work this out on a calculator paper. There's 4 decimal places, there's exactly 4 decimal places, so there's no need to round for this question. They haven't asked me to, so I'm not going to. Question 5. This petrol tank has got 48 litres of petrol when it's full. So this here is 48. Empty would be 0 litres, wouldn't it? The scale shows information about how much petrol there is in the petrol tank. Work out the number of litres in the petrol tank. So if this is 48, a half full would be half of 48. You can put that in a calculator if you like, 48 divided by 2, but that's 24. So what have we got left? Well, this is halfway from 0 to 24, so that is going to be 12. So 12 litres is what we get there. Michael writes down 4 different factors of 60 and he adds the factors together and he gets a number less than 20 but more than 35. So the first stage here is to work out the factors of 60 and they come in pairs. 1 times 60 is 60, so 1 is 60. 2 fits into 60 because 2 times 30 is 60. 3, that fits into 60 because 3 times 20 is 60. 4 times 15 is 60. 5 times 12 is 60. 6 times 10 is 60. Then what next? Well, 7 doesn't fit exactly into 60. 60 isn't in the 7 times table, so not 7. We'll cross that out. What about 8? 8 doesn't go into 60. 60 isn't in the 8 times table, so I'll cross that one out. 9 doesn't go into 60. 60 is not in the 9 times table, so I'll cross that one out. And then 10 is the next number, but I've already got that on my other list, so I must have finished. So those are all the factors of 60. And now I just need 4 of these numbers to add together to make more than 20 but less than 35. So let's start, I don't know, well, there's various different ways of doing it, but I suppose I'd start with a bit less than 20. So I'll start with a 15, and then if I add on a 5, I get 20. So 15 and 5, and then just pick 2 of these numbers to stick in this. I don't know, a 1 and a 2 would make 23. And if you look at that, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. 15 and 5 and 2 and 3, 15 and 5 and 3 and 4, 15 and 5 and 2 and 4, 15 and 5 and any 2 of these numbers. Or you could start with a 12, or you could even start with 20 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, something like that. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but that's the method. For question 6, the important thing here is that 24, so there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 24, because there's only 4 lines there, there's not a line through the middle of them. So there are 24 tallies in this column, all right? So that's 20, Anna sent 24 text messages, right? Now on the diagram here, this represents 24. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 boxes. So 24 text messages is represented by these 6 boxes. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. So each one of these, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, each one of those boxes must be equal to 4 text messages. So we can write that in, because 6 lots of 4 is 24, so one of those boxes must be 4. So there's the key, okay? Now once we've got that, Cassie has got, what's she got? Well, 4 there, 4 there and 4 there, that's 12. And then she's got this. Well, if you look at that, that must be 3. A whole square would have been 4, but we haven't got a whole square, we've got 3/4. So that must be 3, mustn't it? So 4, 8, 12, 15, 13, 14, 15. So Cassie's got a frequency of 15. David's got a frequency of 9, because there's 5 there and 4 there. And how do I put 9 boxes in? Well, there's 4, 8, and then 1/4 of a full box, right? Just so one little square. What are we missing? Bavini has 12 boxes, so that is 4, 8, 12. Sorry, she has 12 text messages, so that's 3 boxes, 3 lots of 4. And that's the pictogram and the key completed. And the key, the solution to that one was realizing that we have a frequency in the table where we also have the picture in the pictogram to help us. Now this one is just a case of using our calculator carefully. Brian's got £312 in his bank account on the 1st of June. On the 5th of June, he puts £120 into his bank account. On the 10th of June, he puts £25 into his bank account. So let's work out how much he's got altogether. So he's got 312 plus 120 plus 25. And on my calculator, that's coming out as 457 on 10th of June. That's how much he's got. This is how much Brian spends from his bank between the 1st of June and the 15th of June. And then he wants to know how much he's got in his bank account. So that's how much he's got if he hadn't spent anything, but he's spent all of this. So we need to add up all of this. Now, this is a calculator paper, so we can just type all this in a calculator. So what's he spent? £42.40 and £21.05 and 24 and 64. Now, I've typed all of those in and I've come out with an answer of 450.32. Now, I've done that once and I've done it fairly quickly, and look how many numbers I've had to type into the calculator. If I was on an exam, I would do that again and check it comes to the same answer. Because if I'm typing all of those numbers in the calculator, it's fairly likely that somewhere I've made a mistake. Now, the other option would be to go through, on the calculator that I've got here, it will let me see the calculations that I've done. So if I go all the way back to the start, I can check the numbers on the screen, £42.40, £42.40, then I should have £21.05, 21.05, and I can check them one at a time. There's 4 marks for this on the GCSE paper, and it's just for typing numbers in the calculator correctly. So we can afford to spend quite a few minutes just doing checks that we've got the things in the calculator properly. For the moment, I'm going to assume that I've got that right. 457, take away 450.32. So that one, take away that one, would tell us how much money he's got left. And it turns out to be £6.68. Names of 3D shapes. This one is a cone, and this one is a cylinder. And we need to have the names, but we don't necessarily need the right spelling. So if you spell cylinder with an S or something, it won't necessarily matter. The other shapes we need to know, a cube is like a 3D version of a square with all sides the same length, all faces are squares. A cuboid is like a 3D rectangle like that. A ball shape, okay, is a sphere. And those will do for the moment, so make sure you know the names of those ones. So, George and Harry work in a factory. They use this rule to calculate their total pay in pounds. The total pay is 8 times the number of hours worked plus the bonus. So George works 30 hours and he's paid a bonus of 20. So George's pay is 8 times the number of hours worked. So that's 8 times 30 and then add on the 20. Well, 8 times 30, 8 times 3 is 24. So 8 times 30 is 240 plus a bonus of 20 makes £260. Harry worked 34 hours and his total pay was 300. Work out the bonus that he got. Okay, so if you work 34 hours, that's 8 times 34 plus the bonus, and his total pay was £300. Okay, so 8 times 34, let's work that one out. 272 plus the bonus is 300. So in that case, there must have been £28 for the bonus, because 272 plus something is 300. That something must be 28. The way we can work it out is 300 take away 272. Or you can picture it on a number line. Here's £0, here's £300. This is 272. So what's this gap here? And that gap is 300 take away 272. We've got a calculator, and if we type it in, we'll find it is 28. Trina collects eggs from her hens. She labels the eggs small, medium or large. So 20% were small, 24% were large. So overall, that's 20 and 24 is 44%. What percentage were medium? Well, that's all the ones that weren't large, that weren't small and weren't large. So that is going to be 100% take away 44%, and that is going to be 56%. And if you're not sure about that, remember, you've got a calculator. 24% as a fraction. Well, 24% means 24 out of 100. Give your fraction in its simplest form means cancel it down. So that's 12 out of 50. And cancel it down again gives us 6 out of 25. And that's as far as we can go. She got 75 eggs in May. 20% of 75. Well, 10% is 7.5. 20% is twice as big as 10%. So that's 15. 20% of 75. There it is, 15. A carpet has, so for this carpet cleaning company, a carpet has an area of 30 metres, so that's the area here is 30 metres. Use the graph to find the cost of cleaning the carpet, so we need to read up to the line and across. Okay, well that looks to me halfway between 100 and 150. So I'm going to say 125. It cost £150 to clean the carpet. Find the area, so go from 150, read across and read down. Now it looks to me like there's 30. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. So it's 6 squares across there, and from 30 to 40 is 10 squares, so it must be 36. A rectangular carpet has a length of 8.6 metres and a width of 5. Work out the cost. So 8.6 times 5 will tell me the area. I've got a calculator. 8.6 times 5, put that in there, and I'm getting 43. What's the cost of cleaning it? Well, that is 40, 1, 2, 3. So that's that line there. I need to read up. And again, you'd be better with a ruler for this, but I'm just doing it quickly to show you what to do. So it's there. Okay, so 150 to 200. So that is 10 squares make 50. So every 2 squares, so that's going to be 60, 70, 80, 90, 200. So 180 is what we get there, 180. So we need to look at how many little squares make that gap of 50 and work out how much each little square is worth. So Suha's walked 7 kilometers up to here, then she had a rest, and this is the time of day on the bottom axis. What time did she leave home? So this is here, she's at 0 from her home, and then she starts walking away, look. So she left home at 2:30 p.m. How long did she rest for? Well, she started resting there, and she stopped resting there. So that is from 4 till 5, so that is 1 hour. What time did she start to walk home? Well, that is this time that she started walking home, so that is 5 p.m. And the total time that she was away from home, well, she left at 2:30, she got back at 7 o'clock, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4.5 hours, or 4 hours 30 minutes. We've got 12 square paving stones, and we're going to use all the stones to make a patio that's a rectangle. And this is the diagram to show Prayesh can use these stones to make a patio that is, draw a diagram to show that we can make a rectangle. Well, in that case, we've got 12 stones. We could arrange them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could arrange them like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes 12. Or we could arrange them as like this. Three lots of 4 to make 12. Okay, and either way we get a rectangle. Now the perimeter of the pond, well look, if you look at this, if this is 4 meters and this is 5 meters, then this distance here on our diagram represents 1 meter in real life. So the perimeter of the pond is just the same as counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The perimeter is the distance around the outside. We just have to count. Work out the area of the path. Well, this square here is 1 meter by 1 meter, so it's 1 meter squared. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 meters squared. And then the last one, what we need to know with correlation is that if the crosses are going upwards, so that the line of best fit is going to slope that way, it's called positive correlation. If the crosses are going downwards, so the line of best fit slopes this way, is called negative correlation. So in this case, our line of best fit would be downwards. I should have used a ruler there really, but negative. If it asks for what type of correlation, it's negative correlation. A car takes, the time a car takes to go from 0 to 60 is 11 seconds. So we go for 11 seconds here. I've drawn a line of best fit. It's a bit of a wobbly one, but I'm going to use it all the same. We go up from 11 and across to here. So the maximum speed would be 120. And that is the whole lot.